The enthusiasm to be here, you understand who Anthea is, and we're very proud to have her as our past chairperson in Gauteng, as our current president of NAPTOSA. But that's not why she's here, because she's running a very successful school. If we go and look at how they do the analysis at the end of the year, her school will never be the top performing school in Gauteng, purely because the statistical people look at quantity and not at the quality. But if you go and do an analysis of the quality of pass rates that she's got, there is something positive going on at that school, and it's because of the leadership of the person. You heard it yesterday in the talks, and here's an excellent example of what a principal should be like. And Anthea, we're privileged to have you here to share those thoughts with us this morning, and we're going to value all the time.
So, what number conference is this, Mike?
10th as NAPTOSA.
10th as
But
NAPTOSA.
the NGE one started
14th in all. So this is my last one of these. I'm retiring at the end of the year, and Tina's asked me to do this. So I've had over the years a number of presentations, and I've done a few things for these various conferences, but I always have my pictures. And now I have a series of dogs. So I have a collection of dogs. So you have a handout which is just dogs. So if you don't write anything, it will be pretty meaningless. But if you listen well and remember well, that's also all right. So the first thing I think the school leader needs to do is to be quite sure about what the vision, mission, values of the school are. So we have our dog with, extra special eyes. How do you see the future for your school, for your learners, for your parents? What is the future? And this will not be the same for every school, but it's really important to get this vision right. What do you want to see from your children and coming out of your school, and for your teachers, and including your own personal philosophy, because why are you there? If you are a school leader or an aspiring school leader, why are you there? You're only there if you know what you're actually trying to accomplish. So I don't think you can go any further until you've got this thing established. And it has to be something that you can live daily, and that there's something in it that you can live. We had a focus group, in fact, assisted by the big boss of the Human Sciences Research Council, who happened to be a parent at the time, helped us do focus groups to get our values and vision and all of that worked out in a very democratic, participative, and transformative way. And I think it stood us in good stead. We started off with having a vision of courageous and confident young women. And we got to a point where they were very confident, but they weren't very nice. So we added compassionate, because we thought, being confident without being compassionate is a bit like arrogance and something worse. So we added, and then sometimes I add, and then I get the buy-in from the staff, but mostly they're thinking the same way, and you have to work like that sometimes. And then we had a speaker as an awards ceremony, an old girl, who had won a really big prize in the company she works for. She's an actuary and had come up with something really clever with a team of other female employees. But it all stemmed from curiosity. So we added curious. So now we've got confident and courageous and compassionate and curious. And then one of the important 21st century skills is collaboration. And so we've added collaborative, because we also found that the really good and clever kids didn't like working together. But in fact, teamwork is really important, and collaboration, true collaboration is important. So we've added it. Anyway, I said, now I'm leaving, so we've got 5 C's, the next person can change the letter or something. But it's important that you keep your mission and vision alive, and it's something meaningful to strive for. It's also your brand, and there's not a lot of time to talk this morning, but branding the school and branding yourself in the school, as the school, because you actually represent the brand wherever you go. So be sure what that is. And then if you have all of these things, it's no good just having it up on the wall. You have to weave it in to daily activities, weekly activities. So somehow you have to find ways to weave it in. So we do in assemblies, we have special occasions, special days, we do celebrate all the national, important days, which we weave into our school vision as well. So I think that's the first one. Next one is expectations. And everyone will say you have to have high expectations. Just because your school is a difficult school, poor school, under-resourced school, doesn't mean you can't have great expectations for the children in your school. You've got to have great expectations for those children. You can't lower the expectations because the children come out of some less able environment. Those children have to have the greatest expectations. They have to equal the children who are in the most advantaged schools. They have to. That's the future of our country. So you have to set those expectations high. There's nothing wrong with their brains. There's absolutely nothing wrong with their brains. They don't have perhaps a parental support and environmental support that some other children have, but the school is there then to make the difference and can make the difference. So great expectations for everyone, for teachers, for parents, for the learners, and it needs to be high. But you have to model it. Your teachers have to model it. Your school leaders, if you have school leaders, the RCL in the school, they have to model these things. So they have to be aware of what the expectations are. Obviously, it is living up to the vision, mission, and values, but it's more explicit, and you have to make it more explicit. So I think detail is critical. So we have this nice dog, and this is a nice dog, comes out of university with a qualification. It's a naked dog. It's just a nice furry dog of some sort. So now you have to tell this new teacher or the learner who's entering your school, how are we going to dress you up? What must you look like? So I have this little amusing picture, because obviously we don't usually want to do this to a normal dog. But it's taking something as it is and showing what the expectations are. So at this school, this is what we expect. You wear a hat of this color with 10 stripes of different colors, and, etc., etc. So to be quite detailed in the expectations, and again, to explain what it is that you have. We have as a norm in our school hard work. We work really hard. And I don't think that a successful school can be, you can't be successful without enormous hard work. I'm sure you've all worked that one out. And everyone works hard. So when teachers come for interviews, we don't, we desperately need the teacher. It's a science teacher, they're very rare. We want this teacher. But we don't want this teacher to have false expectations of the school. So we do say we work very hard. We do talk about the extras that we do, that they do have to stay on Wednesday afternoons to do professional development. This is what we expect. We do expect deadlines to be met. We do expect whatever we expect. And we are detailed in the interview with the teachers. When it comes to new learners joining the school outside of the admission process, and we do interview them then, but not for the routine admissions because we can't. We also make this clear to the families, what are they buying into? And to say that it's hard work, but really very important, it's efforts. Effort surpasses talent. And I think that's a very important message you've got to give to the children. Because they say, I'm not talented, I'm not academically gifted, they don't have such high expectations for themselves. But research shows that it is actually, it's the effort that counts. When they realize it lodges with them, the effort lodges with them, and so they have the power to change. Talent, innate talent, inborn talent, giftedness or whatever, doesn't rest with them. They were given whatever they were given. So they can always blame their lack of talent for not trying. So you have to emphasize the effort. So that's part of expectation. Okay, then we come to self. So we've got two selves here in the picture. We've got the studious, hard-working self. That's you in your principal's role and doing your work. But then the other one is be cool. Be cool. You've got to calm down. You've got to shut off. You've got to be able to let it go as a point and take care of yourself. So, yes, you have the working self, but you also need to have the space for your living self. If you don't, there is trouble. Some of you know I have been quite seriously ill, and did the job make me sick? Possibly yes. Possibly yes. That's the fact of it. Tinnis and I were at a conference where they said sitting is the new smoking. Take that seriously. Don't sit for a long time. Studies, Marion, bad for you because you sit so long. Yes, possibly work does make you sick. And I remember Manette Dempsey. Some of you may have heard Manette over the years. And Manette Dempsey says, you know, she's met principals who get to age 63, get cancer and die. Well, that was sort of quite close to it. And I think you need to take care of yourself. And how you do it, you've got to work out how you do it. I do believe I did my best. It's also possibly genetic because it is in the family. But you know, eating well and exercising well, I did. I exercised half an hour every day. So just be very cautious if you don't neglect yourself. Okay. So with the self,